Right, so what I've got here is a piece of wood, obviously, and this is a piece of buddleia. If you're thinking buddleia, you'd be right, yeah. Usually has purple flower spikes, lilac-y flower spikes, and I'm going to make some of these with it. These are little spools or little reels that you could wind string around, or wool or ribbon or whatever. The reason being is because if you look here, although it's an interesting wood, it's one that's got this pith here, so it's got like a soft core. I can get a drill bit and just, you know, push it straight in. So if you were to turn, I don't know, a little goblet with this or something, you're always going to have that little hole in there. So I thought, well, what can I use, or what can I make with it that makes use of that hole? And little reels, once I clean the inside of that up, works quite well, because then you can put these on like a little holder, and away you go. And it saves you having to drill the hole out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this in the lathe between two centres, and I've tried to get it as central as possible, because that's the other problem as well with some bits. The way it grows, you might end up with the hole where the pith is right over here, and then you haven't got a lot of wood left to do anything with. But I'm going to pop this one on between these centres. So, got it on there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start roughing it out, get it almost round, and then once I've cleaned it all up, and it is just one straight piece of wood, so something that resembles that, I'll then turn the little shoulder here so that I can put it in my chuck. So I'll go and turn that down now. Okay, I'm happy enough with that. There's a little bit of a nick out there, but if I turn that, or make the spool big enough, I can turn that out. Now, to make them, it's just a case of measuring how big you want them, really. You can use one if you've already made one as a guide, but what I tend to do, well, I did a few years ago, make some little templates. So the idea here is you mark there, and that gives you your spool once you turn it down. Or you can just take a ruler, tape measure, and for this one I'm going to go so 10mm wide for that bit, and then I'll turn that bit down to whatever size I feel, and then this one I'm probably going to make a bit smaller, so I'll do it like that. So that'll be the start of the spool. So that's the top. Bottom, and all this here will get turned out. So there it is marked, and then all I'm going to do is just take one of my parting tools and literally just take out this centre section, and obviously this end bit here, because I don't want that either. And that's basically it, really. I'll give it a bit more of a finish, maybe take a little bit more out of here, but once it's done it will be like that. And this wood, although it was cut start of the year, is still quite wet, so it's a bit green, which is why it cuts so easily. You can see there, but it does dry well and it doesn't split, so you can almost finish it completely on the lathe, and then once it's dried out a little bit more, you can see the difference in colour possibly, where the middle here is a bit wetter than that is. And just give them a bit of a sand and they sand up quite nicely. I thought, well, I've got the wood, I might as well use it for something, and this seemed like a good idea, shall we say. So I'll just finish this one off, then I'll start making another one. I can probably get at least 3 out of here. And yeah, so I'll just make some more, I think. And there we go. Now I can just move it up, carry on. Obviously this needs some finishing, can't leave it like that. But I'll just sand the end, cut that a little bit off, sand that one, let it dry a little bit, and then give it a bit of a hand sand. But there we go. So it's a simple thing to make, and out of a piece of buddleia, I think it's not actually bad. And I've got quite a bit of it. Other things you could make that you might need a hole through, I don't know, maybe little cotton reels, which I might make as well. Light pulls, that saves you having to drill the hole out. Can't really think of anything else off the top of my head, but I'm sure something will crop up. And to clear the pith out of the middle, you literally just need a drill bit. You can do it by hand, pretty much. There you go. There you go, one hole. So, yeah. Otherwise, all I would have done with this is probably shredded it, all the smaller pieces anyway, and it'd have gone as mulch on the garden, or bark for the paths. As it was the longer lengths, nice and straight lengths they were, we're using as canes for the tomatoes and the peas and what have you. But I thought this was slightly more interesting. So I'm going to make a few more, I think. I'll get another one. Might even get another 3 out of that piece of wood. So there. That's making spools out of a piece of buddleia. Okay, thanks for watching.